Thanks for joining us on TVC News this hour. We begin with political situation in Niger, where President Bola Tinubu has written to the Senate seeking the approval for the use of force in Niger. The president said ECOWAS, under his leadership, condemned the coup in its entirety and resolved to seek the return of the democratically elected government. To restore peace, ECOWAS convened a meeting and came out with a communique. Closure and monitoring of all land borders with Niger Republic and reactivating of the border drilling exercise, cutting off electricity supply to Niger Republic, mobilizing international support for the implementation of the provisions of the ECOWAS communique, preventing the operation of commercial and special flights into and from Niger Republic, blockade of goods and transit to Niger, especially from Lagos and Eastern Seaport, embarking on sensitization of Nigerians and Nigerians on the imperative of these actions, particularly via social media, military build-up and deployment of personnel for military intervention to enforce compliance of the military junta in Niger, should they remain recalcitrant. And the federal government has called for support from the international community for ECOWAS in ensuring democracy survives in Niger. This was part of the highlights of the briefing by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the diplomatic community in Nigeria. Moyo Thomas reports.
Suspension of all commercial and financial transactions between ECOWAS member states and Niger Republic. Freezing of all service transactions, including utility services.
The federal government says it has become necessary to update the diplomatic community in Nigeria on the stance of ECOWAS on the Niger crisis. The permanent secretary, who briefed, expressed Nigeria's appreciation for the support it is getting already over its stance on the coup in Niger. Many countries such as the US, UK, France, and regional bodies such as EU, UN, and even AU have condemned the coup and the continued detention of President Bazoum.
Nigeria and indeed ECOWAS calls upon the international community to remain resolute on that stance and continue to show solidarity with ECOWAS for affirming the superiority of democratic and constitutional rule over dictatorship. No doubt, the developments in Niger, like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea, have raised serious concerns about regional stability and democratic principles in West Africa. As such, the success of the coup in Niger will significantly dampen ECOWAS's reputation, especially if the country joins the ranks of others that are governed by unconstitutional leaders.
The deadline set by ECOWAS for the return of power to a democratic government is just in few days, and many are already speculating that the junta will not abide by the conditions set. That notwithstanding, Permanent Secretary clarifies that the use of force will be the last resort after mediation and other diplomatic measures have been exhausted.
Every situation comes with its own solution. And Nigeria has not sent military to Niger. We have mediated in Mali, we mediated in Guinea, we are mediating in Burkina Faso under the umbrella of ECOWAS. And this is exactly what we are doing in Niger. Niger is not different.
The meeting has now gone into a closed-door session, and as highlighted by the PAMSEC, they hope mediation works and Nigeria never gets to the point of using force. Moya Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.